Donald Trump might just not be able to keep another one of his campaign promises. The same federal judge in Hawaii, CNN reports, that temporarily blocked the president's travel ban has now extended that injunction indefinitely. And this has been reported by multiple sources. Now, the updated decision by U.S. District Court Judge Derek Watson now essentially means that the travel ban has been blocked indefinitely unless it has been reinstated by a higher appeals court judge, which certainly the Trump administration is going to go and try and do. Now, see, it turns out that there seems to be this little thing called the law and the Constitution that you have to follow even if you're president. I know, right? Oh man, who knew being president would be so hard? Now, the original order was, of course, blocked by a 3-judge panel because it was very clear that it was targeted towards members of a specific religion, in this case, Muslims, from 7 different majority Muslim nations. Now, the original order also included preferential treatment for Christian refugees that were fleeing these areas. However, no, hey, whoa, not a Muslim ban, not a Muslim ban. Donald Trump and his cohorts came out and they swore over and over and over and over, not a Muslim ban, not a Muslim ban. No, it's just we're just banning Muslims from these specific countries, just these specific countries. No, okay, well, yeah, nobody was buying that. At least a lot of people weren't buying that. So what they did is that after that got blocked, they came out with Muslim ban 2.0. Now, the second one only affected 6 countries and got rid of this religious test. However, Judge Watson, he was not convinced that this bill still wasn't a Muslim ban, and because it was based on the same idea. Now, in his decision, Watson wrote, "The court will not crawl into a corner, pull the shutters closed, and pretend it has not seen what it has. The executive order runs afoul of the Establishment Clause, where openly available data support a common sense conclusion that a religious objective permeated the government's action." Now, what does that actually mean? A religious objective permeated the government's action. What religious objective? Well, basically what he's saying is that it's no secret that this was set up to be a ban on a specific religion, even if it's just from these 7 different countries. In fact, all the way back in 2018, and this is what Watson had based this on, is Donald Trump's own words of the intent behind this piece of legislation. In fact, I want to show you this. Let's take a look.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on.
Complete and total shutdown of Muslims coming into the United States. I don't know, that sounds pretty religious to me. It sounds like a religious ban. Now, maybe if you said, hey, there are people in these countries, there are these countries, right? I think that there's some danger right now in letting people come in until we can vet them better. We should set up some better vetting. Now, that statement itself, or some sort of, different take on that statement, still factually incorrect, as we do have some of the toughest vetting measures in the world. And since 1975, none of the countries that were actually on the ban had actually attacked America. But at least using that language, you'd be a little bit more safe because, oh, the intent is just to keep us safe, not to actually ban members of a certain religion. Okay, well, that makes sense, where you can see that even though you're factually wrong on this. Okay. But right now, as you saw from that, Donald Trump was blatantly saying, I have a problem with Muslims coming in. Well, that's your intent. Your intent is to block Muslims. Now, Trump is not sophisticated. We know this. He doesn't know how to hide that kind of language, the bigotry and Islamophobia, like a regular Republican does. So what it is that it's out in the open. People can see it. Judge Watson sees it. And he's like, you can't just look at that and look at the stuff that he said and look at the order that's come out and say that that's not a Muslim ban. That's not based on religion. And it's funny is that, some people are out there saying, oh my God, Trump's so brave for coming out and saying that. He says it the way it is. No, it's not because he's saying it's the way it is. It's because he's not sophisticated. It's because he's a moron. He's an idiot. And what's funny is that during this whole thing, he's done a great job at unmasking all the other Islamophobes. The ones that were staying in the shadows, that were using this more sophisticated language to hide their true intent, which was to ban people of a certain religion. Now, speaking of unmasking, see, if that video was not clear enough, Here's a knucklehead Giuliani putting it right out in the open.
But I want to ask you about this ban. I want to ask you about this ban and the protest. Does the ban have anything to do with religion? How did the president decide the 7 countries? I understand the permanent ban on the refugees.
Okay.
Okay, talk to me.
I'll tell you the whole history of it. So when he first announced it, he said Muslim ban. He called me up. He said, put a commission together. Show me the right way to do it legally. I put a commission together with Judge Mukasey, with Congressman McCall, Pete King, whole group of other very expert lawyers on this. And what we did was we focused on, instead of religion, danger. The areas of the world that create danger for us, which is a factual basis, not a religious basis. Perfectly legal, perfectly sensible, and that's what the ban is based on.
He says, oh, it's based on danger, it's based on danger. But you're targeting these specific countries that actually haven't had people since 1975 attacking anyone in the United States. If it were based on danger, then why not ban Saudi Arabia? Or ban Egypt? Instead, you're taking countries that haven't attacked us and banning them, which doesn't make any sense. So, there's that. But on the substance of what he said, getting back to my point, I want to ban Muslims. Tell me how to do it legally. Well, you got to make it about the danger, Donald. You can't say, oh, I want to ban Muslims, even though it plays super, super well with your audience. You can't do that. So here's what we do instead. And look, the guy is still such an idiot that Giuliani comes out and says, well, that's what we wanted to do, but we had to change the language. We had to fudge it around. Now, again, that rewrite does change a couple of things around, but in the intent is the same. Ban people from a specific religion. In fact, here's Trump again talking about his intent, and this is much more recent. Let's take a look.
Remember this, I wasn't thrilled. But the lawyers all said, oh, let's tailor it. This is a watered-down version of the first one. This is a watered-down version. And let me tell you something. I think we ought to go back to the first one and go all the way, which is what I wanted to do in the first one.
Idiot. Child. Oh, you know, my whole intent was to go back to the first one, but actually to go stronger, because that's what I wanted to do in the first place, is to ban more Muslims. But it's not a Muslim ban. Moron. Idiot. Baby. Sad. Look, if Donald Trump truly wants to move this ban forward, which he does, he's got to go to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals and then up through the court system, which, again, the Ninth Circuit is the is a higher court, the next highest court. And if they shut it down, then he's got to go to the next one, until it ends up to the Supreme Court. So the good news is that this is going to be tied up for a while. Not a bad thing. Now, of course, I could go on and on about the hypocrisy of this ban and why Saudi Arabia isn't on it. I've already mentioned it earlier. But again, you guys already know. Why he didn't ban anyone like Saudi Arabia or Egypt is because he has business deals there. If you're on this list, ironically, and you don't want to be on this list, if you're in any country that he wants to ban, why don't you reach out and make some business dealings? That is the one way to get off this list. Buy your way. If that's not absolute corruption, I don't know what is. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.